Welcome to another edition of Chaplain John with Chaplain John Sayers, featuring special reports and interviews with people doing kingdom ministry in Tulare County and beyond. And now, here's Chaplain John.
The church, wherever you go, there it is. Hey, this is Chaplain John, and if you're listening to this on my podcast, or if you want to go to my podcast, you just go to chaplainchat.podomatic.com. That's Chaplain Chat, and Podomatic spelled Podomatic.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, well, I have the YouTube channels. You can just type in Chaplain John, and you'll find my YouTube channels. Anyway, and I've been sharing a bit about the book that I wrote. And it's called The Church Wherever You Go, There It Is. And I've been sharing different chapters, and I want to share another chapter today to you on this podcast, YouTube. I had today another person. I was down at the Cafe 210, and this person said, "Oh, Chaplain, just got done. I'm reading your book. In fact, it's really good." And I appreciated hearing that. It's a simple read, and it really is. It's only about 95 pages, very simple read. And she was telling me about how there are some churches she's going to, and she's finding God there, and she's getting the flavor of the book. Because the idea of the book is and how I see the church all around us, wherever two or three are gathered, there we are in the church. If I were to write this book today, I might have been calling this also. I might have had a chapter called The Bus Church, because I meet people on the bus. In this book are different places I see the church, not just on that place on Sunday, but yeah, I got a chapter on that too. And that's what it, now in the book, it's kind of interesting. I've been sharing different chapters of the book, and you can get the book on Amazon. You can get the book on Amazon.com, by the way, for $7.99. There's the cover. You'll see the cover, but you can get it on Amazon. If you live anywhere around here, see me. I can save you the shipping cost. And I did not do the book to make money or even to get famous. I had some people encourage me. Why don't you write a book? We all got a book. We all have a book. I bet you all have a book. And this is one I put out. And so that's how you can get it. But I didn't do it to make money either, because Amazon, out of the $7.99, Amazon gets $5 and something cents. I get $2, and that's fine. I don't care. I didn't do it to make money. But if you want to get it on Amazon, that's fine. I'll get $2, and if you want to buy it from me, that's fine, because it just gives me more money to hand out books. Sometimes I just hand them out. But I have been sharing different chapters on this, and so one chapter was called The Camp Church. The other was called The Rescue Mission Church. Now, and chapter 3, I called it The Jail Church. By the way, that probably was my biggest chapter, because I was a chaplain in Tulare County jails for 15 years. And then I had, then I have something called the Hospital Church, because today I'm still a chaplain on call at our local hospital. Interesting where I see the church there. Now, there are some churches I had to change the name because we weren't sure I could use, like I have a chapter that's called the First Church at Danny's. See, we didn't think we could put the First Church at Denny's, but so it's called Danny's, okay? And that's, I have another church called, there's another church I want to share, chapter 6, which is kind of interesting. On Saturday, I'm talking now. This is not in the book, but I can talk about this. On Saturday, I do something really special every Saturday from 10 to noon. It's called Cup of Jazz. And we weren't sure we could use the name Cup of Jazz. So we called it, chapter 6 is called The Jazz Jam Church. So if you're reading the book, you'll know. If you go to Cup of Jazz, you'll know I'm talking about Cup of Jazz. Let me read you a little bit about chapter 6, The Jazz Jam Church. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, and all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Psalms 98:4, King James Version. What I call the Jazz Jam Church is a group of people who get together to play music on Saturday at one of our local coffee shops in Visalia, California. Sometimes when you go to the church, it's just plain fun. It's called the Jazz Jam Church. Our worship time is a couple hours starting at 10 o'clock a.m. I would say my friend Richard is the lead pastor, but we have others who participate in this service. If you look up the word jam as a verb on the internet, the definition is to improve on a musical instrument with a group. And this is what we do. Different people from different walks of life and background come together to play music for the fun of it, but not just for the fun. But God moves in the midst of us. But more on that later. Sometimes we come together and we just listen. There's a chapter called We Jam Together by Just Listening. Now, some of you that know me go, I can actually sit and be still. I'm major ADHD if you know me. I'm bouncing around all over the place. But I can, when I'm listening to music, especially I think stringed instruments, guitar, piano, violin, harp, there's something that calms even me down. I just love to listen to music. When I was a little boy, I got this in there, but I'm just telling it to you right now. There was a gal that her name was Alexa, I believe, not the Alexa we talked with. Alexa, da, da, da. She actually played the harp, beautiful harp. And when I was a little kid in church, that just calmed me down. I wasn't all fidgety. I just, wow. Something about stringed instruments, harp, guitar, violin, piano, stringed. I just love stringed instruments. Well, when I was a little older, I was a youth minister at this church, and this might have been like 15 years later or something. There was a gal that played the harp, and it just calmed me down. I was the youth minister at the church. It just calmed me down. I think after about 2 or 3 weeks, I finally went up to her and said, hi, when I was a little boy, there was this lady that played the harp, and it just calmed me down. And she looked at me and she says, John, I was wondering when you were going to come up. I was that person. And I go, oh, right. She goes, yes. And I said, hey, when I was a little kid, did the pastor ask you to play the harp to calm me down? And she just smiled. And then I was thinking, maybe that pastor I was serving under as a youth minister did the same thing, just to calm me down. Well, music does that for people. Hey, the harp did a lot for King Saul. David played the harp to kind of calm him down. Well, sometimes we jam together by just listening. Some jam by bringing their instruments. I want to read this part to you. At the Jazz Jam Church, we have some great guitar players, saxophone players, flute players, drummers, banjo players, and to mention a few. Some musicians are in their own bands, but they do not get paid when they come to the Jazz Jam Church. They play, it's just for fun. They come to play for the joy they get from jamming together. Now, isn't that interesting saying, jamming together? Most of the time, we would not want to be jammed together. But at the Jazz Jam Church, jamming is a good thing. When they're playing, Richard seems to be able to merely give a name or give a nod when they're playing music, and then that person will take the lead. After a while, someone else may take the lead, while the rest of the group plays to support it. Whoever takes the lead is wise not to go on too long or to look selfish and steal the show. Putting on the pastor's hat. Now, every once in a while in the book, I have a section called Putting on the Pastor's Hat, because I did. I was a pastor. Sometimes in different Christian ministries, people get selfish. Some people in the church feel frustrated because they don't get recognized for all the hard work they do. I understand this. But remember, if God has called you to a certain ministry, he will bless you. His blessings may come in a way of spiritual joy, a sense of fulfillment. On the other hand, if you're involved in some ministry and you're not feeling it, then you need to give yourself a reality check. First of all, are you called to do this ministry? If not, maybe you're in the wrong ministry. On the other hand, if you are called, then maybe you need to seek the Lord and ask him to give you joy, patience, kindness, all the fruits of the Spirit, Galatians 5:22-23, to equip you better to do this ministry. Some of us come to the Jam Church by singing. I got a section there. And we get up to the mic and we sing because Richard says everybody can play at grandma's house. I like that phrase. Everybody gets to play in the sandbox. Some join by singing. Some join by dancing. Every once in a while there'll be somebody, and it's not just all jam music. Sometimes we do other types of music too. And some of us may just want to dance, and I dance, and it's kind of fun. Those are things that take place. Let me just end how I end this chapter. Those who are regulars at the Jazz Jam Church, because those are their regulars at the Jazz Jam Church, come because in the midst of the music, in the relationship with others, and listening, in the dancing, we find God. Whenever I find God, I'm in his church. On Saturday, I find God at the Jazz Jam Church. Now, the Lord may not be calling you to jam at your local coffee shop, but what is he calling you to do? We need to go to church, and the church, wherever you go, there it is. God bless. And I'll do another chapter next time.